My father cried to me about his breakup 3 hours after I delivered my stillborn son, then told family I was inconsiderate for not comforting him through his romantic crisis. At 2 a.m., I got the call that shattered my heart. My baby was dead. At 32 weeks pregnant, Oliver's heart had simply stopped beating. While I was still trying to comprehend what the doctor had just told me, I had only one thought: I need my father. Despite our complicated history, despite all the times he'd disappointed me, this would be different. This would make him the grandfather I'd always hoped he could be. But I was about to learn that some people never change, not even when faced with the ultimate tragedy. I lay in the hospital bed as contractions began, my husband Thomas holding my hand while I called Dad. "We're losing the baby," I whispered through my tears. "Oliver is gone. I need you here." The silence on the other end lasted so long I thought the connection had dropped. Then came his voice, flat and businesslike. "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. When do you need me there?" Not, "I'm coming right away," or "I love you," or anything a father should say to his daughter in her darkest moment. Just logistical questions, like I was asking him to help move furniture instead of mourning his first grandchild. "The doctors are inducing labor tomorrow," I said, my voice breaking. "I don't know exactly when, but we want family here to say goodbye to him." His response left me speechless. "Well, I need to let my work know how long I'll be away, so I need a better time frame than that." Can you imagine? His grandson had died, and his biggest concern was his vacation request. "Dad, I don't know exactly. The medication can take hours or days to work." He kept pressing. "The hospital must know something. Just ask a doctor, they'll know." Thomas grabbed the phone from my shaking hands. "Robert, your daughter just lost her baby. Figure it out with your work." Click. The next morning, Dad arrived with his girlfriend Angela, and when I saw his red-rimmed eyes and devastated expression, I felt a moment of relief. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe this loss was affecting him as deeply as it was me. But as the hours passed in the hospital, I realized something was terribly off. Dad sat in the corner like a statue throughout the entire ordeal. He didn't speak, didn't offer comfort, didn't even acknowledge our 3-year-old son Liam, who was confused and scared by all the adult emotions he couldn't understand. It was like he was physically present but emotionally checked out completely. When Oliver was finally born, silent and perfect and heartbreakingly small, the nurse gently placed him in my arms. Thomas and I wept as we memorized his tiny features, his delicate fingers, the way his hair curled just like Liam's had as a baby. The hospital photographer took pictures we'd treasure forever, the only moments we'd ever have with our son. Throughout this sacred, devastating time, Dad remained in his corner, staring at nothing. When I tried to show him Oliver, to let him hold his grandson, he barely glanced over before looking away again. Angela was the one who came forward, touched Oliver's little hand, and whispered how beautiful he was. 3 hours after Oliver's birth, while I was still processing the physical and emotional trauma of losing my child, Dad finally spoke up. "You should probably go home to Liam. He's very confused and he needs you." I stared at him in disbelief. I had just given birth. I was still bleeding, still in pain, still trying to process the reality that I'd never take this baby home. And his advice was for me to get up and take care of everyone else's needs while ignoring my own. The sterile hospital room suddenly felt suffocating, the beeping machines a constant reminder of everything we'd lost, and my father's indifference was the cruelest addition to an already unbearable day. Dad suddenly stood up and walked toward the elevator without another word, his wrinkled shirt and disheveled appearance making him look lost. Thomas, worried something might be wrong, followed him down to the parking garage. When he returned 20 minutes later, his face was grim, that look he gets when he's trying to protect me from something painful. "What happened?" I asked, adjusting Oliver's tiny blue blanket around his still form. Thomas glanced toward Angela, who was pretending not to listen, then back at me. "I'll tell you later," he said quietly, but I could see the anger building in his eyes, the same protective fury I felt whenever someone hurt our family. We finally went home that evening, all of us emotionally and physically drained from the worst day of our lives. Liam